Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 187 of the Red Force podcast. My name's Eric Tolado. Joining me today, Christian Tolado.
Welcome all to the show.
Christian pressed the unmute button this week. Success.
Yeah, Tritz wasn't here to distract me.
Right.
Now, as you can see, all the memorabilia, volumes, figures, packed away. We are moving. The studio is moving.
Yes.
We will have a green screen setup. Suggest where we want to be. Where do you want us to be? We could be anywhere. We could be absolutely anywhere.
Sure.
Alright. Fun memes will ensue, but we are moving the show. Last week in here, in this, HQ. Been here for the entire run of the show.
Where it all began, Christian. There was a 6-month stint in Sydney.
In Sydney, but I was here. There was that 1 week where I was up there in the forward operating base,
Yes.
as we called it. And the HQ is moving. So get ready for something new. Now, we could just green screen the old HQ in the background.
We don't have a photo, though.
Or maybe we could get one. A high quality photo. We could do that.
How's that, Christian?
Just take a photo.
There's no stuff.
To put all the stuff back out. You know, it's an entire thing. But we are moving, and we are doing that. Enough about us. One Piece anime comes out
Yes.
with probably the best episode of Wano.
Sure.
Pacing on point. Animation on point.
Yep.
Direction on point. Great times on point.
High level episode, Christian.
High level episode. Would you say it's better than the Warlords in terms of direction? In terms of that? Because, the reveals of the Warlords. I mean, in terms of content, you can't beat that. Can't beat the content. But what about the direction, the animation? Would you say this is better than that Warlord episode?
I'd say it's about on par, Christian.
On par. Okay.
Christian, you don't need necessarily some major things to happen.
No.
Simplicity done well
Yeah.
is the key to this episode. Now, we had a good dance number.
Rave
nothing
party.
really too complex going on.
We shared a lot of shots in there. There were more, the crowd shot was reused
Sure.
a few times. But it got the job done. Great episode of One Piece anime. Great direction.
Yes.
And direction sells everything.
Sure.
Normally in One Piece episode, flat shot, flapping lips, nothing moving.
Yep.
We got sweeping cameras. We got a whole bunch of shit. Great episode. The One Piece manga is coming back next week, which we will cover. Alright, we will cover that.
Well, who spilled the beans again?
Well, I assume we're moving on to something else. We'll come back to who's who.
Yamato?
Maybe.
Okay.
But we'll move on. What was it? Something was announced, but I can't remember what. Anyway,
Okay.
not really important.
Sure.
Today we're here to discuss the newest manga in Shonen Jump.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the newest, but English.
We're early.
Is it simulcasted?
I don't know.
Are they ahead?
Did you do any research?
Well, it's hard to find anything about this series, anything about this creator.
Right.
It's very underground. It's very new.
Brand new, Christian. Chapter 2 came out last week.
Yeah. But we are talking about the Hunters Guild, Red Hood. Alright? That's what we're talking about today.
Yes.
Before we get into it, subscribe to the show.
Of course.
Like the stream. Comment down below. Get ready for the reverie.
It's coming.
It's coming next week.
Yes.
Sunday. Monday. No, Sunday or Saturday. Well, whatever.
Depending on your time.
Depending on your time zone. I'm sure it'll run into
Both.
both days
Sure.
for people out there. So, What are you preparing for the reverie, Eric? You're preparing some truth bombs, some attacks.
Wherever the conversation goes,
takes you, Eric.
I'll say what I need to say.
Sure.
We'll see how spicy people want to be.
Yeah.
Morge
is promoting Law and Order. Did you see the pre-reverie stream?
No, I didn't.
With all the new people. Morge did a little pre-reverie stream.
For a rude surprise. Was King
No,
Alani there? Was Roger's base there?
It was all new people.
Yep.
All the new people joined
Did they
the reverie.
behave themselves?
They did.
Well, they better be ready.
The powder keg.
Okay.
When the emperors appear.
The emperors are aggressive.
The haki on display.
No one's ready for the haki.
Will Silvers be ready? Absolutely not. Will Dritz will be there in the corner, scheming, plotting. It'll be an event of a lifetime. Shout out to Mr. Morge. Planning some kind of epic event. Eric doing the thumbnail. When will that be ready, Eric?
Before the reverie.
You don't know much time, Eric.
Yeah, there's plenty.
It's getting there. It's getting there, alright. So get ready for the reverie. But we are here today to discuss Red Hood. Right. Now, you want to get into it, or you have anything else to say?
Brago and JD want to make videos about Fish and Tiger, Christian.
Yeah.
Alright, they want to talk about Fish and Tiger. I think they missed the point about Fish and Tiger. And, maybe they should, figure it out.
What are you going to say about that?
Yeah.
What are you going to say about that? Interesting video from JD. Maybe bring it up to him in the reverie.
Okay.
Right, maybe you will. But there you go. Let's get into it. If you haven't read this thing, I recommend it. But, we're going to go through it. We're going to say why it's good. Why it's interesting.
We'll say some things.
We'll
definitely say some things.
We will say some things. Anyway, let's get into it. Hunters Guild Red Hood released 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Brand spanking new. Now, Eric, we normally don't do this. Right? We normally go for things with a little buzz, a little interest.
Sure.
A little thing going on. But nobody watches these episodes anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So, we can really talk whatever we want about. Now, this show caught my eye. I was on the Jump app, going to read One Piece for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Saw this new manga. Had a flip through it. I'm like, yeah, I can get into this. I can see this going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because, obviously, we're taking inspiration from fairy tales, the Western fairy tales, the grim fairy tale sort of scenario.
Yes.
A dark fantasy manga, which we have not seen in Jump for maybe quite some time.
I would say Germanic in inspiration.
Sure, the Grimm's fairy tales, those old school medieval style fairy tales, not like the new sanitized ones.
Yes.
It's even got that, deep rendered style.
The style's kind of... Well, we'll talk about the style.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But what is it, Eric? It is... I would describe it as a dark fantasy shonen. What else would you... It's dark fantasy.
Well, it's action adventure.
Well, yeah, okay, but...
I don't know how dark...
Well, it's PG-13 dark fantasy. It's not high fantasy.
Slash fantasy. I haven't seen much fantasy going on.
I mean,
There are werewolves.
What do you mean?
There's vampires, all the monsters you think of. Will there be mummies? Will we go to,
Egypt.
Who knows?
Imhotep. See the mummy.
Will we see Benny, Christian?
Will we see them all? Brendan Fraser, but will he be there?
Yeah.
We'll see. But, what would you describe this as?
Smart play. Let's get this off the table first.
Yeah.
Waifu, hype man.
I'm going to throw something fast and loose at you.
What?
Before we get into the theories and the crafting of it,
What?
let's just establish what this show is.
Okay.
Shonen, what does that mean? Action adventure. Right?
Sure.
Dark fantasy shonen. It's not high fantasy.
No.
Because, elves and fucking fairies and fucking,
It might, who knows?
It might get there. But right now, dark fantasy shonen, So if you enjoy a sanitized Berserk, you might enjoy this. I'll say that. If you enjoy a PG-13 Berserk, you might enjoy this.
Okay.
It's got the smart play angle, the reliance on technology and weapons and tools, not necessarily about, overcoming the monsters via physical might. It's more about tactics and tools.
Maybe.
That's what's said in the first chapter.
Okay, maybe.
That's what's said. Right now, that's what's said.
There is some magic going on, though. It's not just about weapons.
Sure, like Grimm has like a suitcase that's fifth dimensional and can hold
items.
I assume 1 million items.
Can grow in age, seemingly 500 years old, perhaps, maybe.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that's what she meant by that statement, but you maybe could read it like that.
We as the royal we, instead of including herself.
Yeah, as maybe she says, but she's talking about the guild. But let's look at. We start off. First of all, who made this?
You tell me.
Yuki Kawahachi. Unfortunately, this man shares the same name as some famous Japanese marathon runner.
Right, maybe they're the same person.
I doubt it.
Right.
Right, so it's very hard to find information on this person.
Now, apparently someone told us last week that he was an assistant on My Hero.
I did find that on some backwater wiki style thing.
Right.
I don't know if it's true. It might be true.
Okay.
Apparently, assistant on My Hero. You can see it in the child characters.
You can see it in the faces.
The Deku eyes.
Sure, the faces are there.
I'm gonna say it's mainly the children. I don't see it.
Angular designs in the clothing, but it's you can see
it's a mixture of.
You can see that he worked on it. You can see.
I agree with the main character.
His hand action will adjust to his own style.
Sure.
As he keeps going.
So we got this man. Guess his favorite manga, Eric.
Berserk.
JoJo, baby.
Okay.
Favorite manga, JoJo.
Sure.
This man's got man of culture, alright?
Man of taste.
So you can see the My Hero influence, definitely, but it's heavily rendered. Doesn't use. It's mainly line work. It doesn't have effects and bullshit. It's mainly line works. Mainly that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So, a comment on this man. All right. We start with a little cold open, Eric. We're always starting with a cold open, Eric. Apparently, this is the new trend. You start with a cold open. We start off with a hooded character, female, asking a boy if he has ever heard or seen a dragon.
Now, this is like the final page of the first chapter, right?
So we cold open to the final chapter.
It's coloured. I don't know if this is like a special colour page thing because it's the first chapter, or is this legit?
It happens in the second chapter. But yeah, this is a cold open.
Right. Is this what this guy wants to do with his chapters, maybe? Is this what he's going to do going forward?
The second chapter has a color page, but it's actual content. It's not like a repeat content thing.
Okay.
So we start off with that little cold open. The boy responds with he's only heard about dragons and fairy tales. The woman says she exterminated them 500 years ago, quote unquote. Now we'll get into the end what that actually means.
Yes.
But we get a little cold open talking about dragons. Interesting choice talking about dragons when there is no dragons to be seen in the first chapter.
But there are promises of various creatures, Christian.
What do you call that, Eric?
I call that fake death.
You call that fake death, or you call that world building? Because
it's a chapter 1 classic that I tell people to do.
I don't think
it's a chapter 1 classic.
I'm gonna call this not fake death because it's not lofty promises. You could expect vampires. You could expect witches in the first 10 chapters.
Well, the dragon's a long play, Christian.
I guess that's the big mystery.
Chapter 10, there'll be a dragon.
Yeah, no.
There'll be a dragon footprint somewhere.
The big marine, if this continues, the big marine fort arc is going to be against a dragon.
Sure.
Or the end villain,
or maybe
the dragon.
Maybe the big first major arc. We'll fight a dragon. Who knows what'll be King Dragon.
I feel like it's going to be werewolves first because that's their main quest.
Sure, but if we're going off the...
Can I just...
Okay, keep going.
Go through what this thing is. Because you keep on cutting in...
Sidetracking
it. And people don't know what the fuck this show is.
Right?
We start off. All right. After the cold open, we see a village, a little hamlet, as they call it,
Yes.
called Kawasoka. I mean, call it an English name. I mean, you know what I mean.
I mean, we're in the mountains somewhere.
We're somewhere in Europe.
Sure.
Surely.
Maybe.
Very European, dramatic kind of
Situation, designs, even.
design. Sure, it's got the native, Germanic patterns all over everything. It's very Germanic, cold, forest-like environment.
Yes.
So
I don't know how many pine trees they got in Japan.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe up in the mountains somewhere. Who knows?
Sure.
Who knows what they've got? All right. But the story opens up with a werewolf going around eating people. We have a problem, Eric. There's werewolves. They're eating people. It's a problem. A boy called Valu has returned to the village with a thorn in his hand. Apparently, a good hunter, a young child who knows his way around a musket.
How old is this man? 12?
Don't really get an age. Looks 10, 12.
Designed comment.
Looks fine in black and white. The coloured version, not too sure about. The salmon pink hair. Maybe a little feminine with the braid. Plus the pink hair. Can't really tell the masculine qualities of this character. And colour, I think it works in black and white.
Okay.
What do you think?
Am I sold this is an iconic design for the main character, Christian?
I'm going to... We'll get it to the end.
No.
But I don't think this character is the main character. We'll get it to the end.
Right.
We'll get to the end.
That's
This character isn't the main character.
Because I'm pretty sure the main character is Grim.
We'll get to it.
The woman.
We'll get to it.
Who's going to be there a long time.
I'm going to say maybe even a co-MC kind of style story.
Yeah, this is the remind me of the classic Christian. The cub and the wolf.
Sure, the Ronin taking on the apprentice.
Sure.
Kind of story.
Yes.
But we'll get to that.
Very much similar to that in many ways, in fact.
So this man, this child, very good with the gun. Valu. Hunter, good with the gun. The mayor comes out. Telling people getting eaten by werewolves is a problem. We get a law dump. People turn into werewolves and eat other people. It is unknown how this is happening. It is unknown how it was transferred. It's a mystery. So, the village mayor appears and makes an announcement. Soon they'll have lost too many people and have to abandon the village.
You can't have that.
Can't have that. Velu asks him to teach him how to fight to protect the village. But the mayor's like, oh, you're too young. You can't handle yourself against a werewolf.
Yes.
You're too young. So I'm gonna have to hire a member of the Hunters Guild to come and deal with this werewolf issue. All right. Then we get we've got more law dumps. Little law dump of the Hunters Guild, founded by a mysterious, legendary character called Red Hood. Now, is this man the final villain? Is this man the ultimate hype man of the series? We're talking about a Shanks-like figure. We're talking about a all-for-one, all-might figure. Kind of this legendary, top-of-the-world, top-tier figure.
Now, Christian.
Red Hood.
People like...
What?
This is classic. First chapter nonsense.
Sure.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Any one of those options. Will there be a secret plot in the Hunters Guild where
some sort of civil war arc?
Some kind of
possibility
conspiracy plot? Sure. Who knows?
Are they secretly funding the werewolf? Are they secretly funding the vampires?
The evil guild of villains, so they can get money.
Are they making werewolves so they can go out and hunt them and get them money? All kinds of options.
Sure.
So your mind is wondering, your mind is thinking,
and of course, Christian, you have the trap master, the marksman master,
the sword master, the hunters of werewolves, the hunters of vampires,
the cabal of the great men.
We all know the top tier hunters are the dragon hunters.
Okay,
but the dragoons, Eric.
Sure.
All right, and we'll see them maybe eventually if this show doesn't get cancelled.
Okay.
All right, because Jump, they like to cancel things.
Yeah, they do.
So the mayor has hired someone to protect the village. He has sent a request to the Hunters Guild as their last attempt. Alright, and that's what it is. They are mercenaries who hunt monsters, Eric. They're mercenaries, Eric. They're not heroes. They come for a fee. Alright? They're not here to help people. They're here to make that coin. That scourge. Alright?
Of course.
They're here to scoop that paper.
They're gonna get that paper.
They're here to secure the bag. All the memes. That's what they're here for.
Some kind of perception going on here. Not people don't like them because of the money thing.
They cost a lot of money, but they get the job done.
Yeah.
You know? The mayor sold all his stuff, all his belongings, so they could hire the hunter and save the village. The mayor's a good man. You know, the mayor's kind of like... The mayor is the Shanks figure. You know, the man who looks after the Valor, trained him, taught him how to live, how to... helps protect the village, lives for the village, quality character, quality guy, alright? 1 week later, a lolly appears in the village, and her name is Grim. Everyone's like, Nani, a child? What is this bullshit?
It's a scam.
We got scammed, alright? She asked for the payment up front, alright? And they don't want to pay her because she's a little girl. She then runs through the cancellation fees, Eric. Very expensive cancellation fees.
Yes.
You have to pay for the travel, have to pay for the cancellation, have to pay for the equipment. It's very expensive to cancel on these hunters. You can't cancel. Once they're there, they're there.
Of course.
Alright? Valor roasts her, calls her a scum. For all she doesn't care about the village, all she cares about is money. Alright? What are you doing? Alright? Valor, upset. Grim goes, I'm a professional here. Alright? And what do professionals do? They get paid for their work. Alright? I'm a professional. Does the blacksmith not get paid when he crafts a sword, Eric?
Correct.
Alright? Does the baker not get paid when he breaks a loaf of bread? The hunter gets paid when the hunter hunts. Alright? She's a professional. She's gonna get paid.
Yes.
Alright? That's I can understand that. You're here to do a job.
She ain't working for exposure, Christian.
No, she's working for a straight up paper.
Yeah.
Alright?
Coined.
Alright? And I'm sure they use the money to fund other
Did we get a
expeditions.
monetization system in this first chapter, Christian?
I mean, sure. Like,
Did we get
silver?
Where did the mayor sell his
200 silver.
stuff to his own
Other villages?
village members?
Sure.
Okay.
Right? So, the money's silver. I'm sure there's, gold.
Yes.
But they've got 200 silver to feed, to pay this woman. Valor, it turns out, was upset this whole time because his parents were killed by werewolves some years ago. He's got personal stake in the game.
Yes.
Alright? The mayor killed the werewolves that killed Valor's parents, and he took him in as his own. This man is a hero to Valor.
We'll talk about the mayor at the end.
The mayor, he was a powerful warrior, but now he's an old man. Lost his edge. Alright. Was the protector of the village.
Has
a legendary weapon.
Has a
of
weapon.
some sort.
How did he get that weapon?
Alright. So we assume the mayor was some legendary hunter.
Some hype man in the Hunters Guild.
Sure, but now, he's an old man.
Yeah.
He can't do it anymore. Protect the village. Grim and Valor work together. Valor's gonna show her where the hut is, where they saw the werewolf. Grim goes, no, it's obvious that the werewolf is in the village this entire time. They work it out by some means, big brain plays.
Sure.
All kinds of stuff. Valor cannot believe there's a traitor in the village. He can't believe it. Alright? Grim explains there is no good and evil, Eric. The werewolves eat humans like humans eat other animals. It's just
They're
nature.
hungry, sure.
It is nature. Is a human evil for eating a cow? Not necessarily. It's just nature. It's the nature of the human being.
Sure.
Just as it is the nature of the werewolf.
I'm not sure how consistent that is in the second chapter, but...
You got plotting and scheming.
Sure.
You got the...
I don't know if they're necessarily hungry in that instance.
Well, they can only eat humans, Eric.
Okay. Why?
Well, maybe we'll find that out.
All
Right? But that's the biology. That's how it works. They hear the mayor screaming at a hut, and they run towards it. They arrive outside the hut, screaming. The screams came from. Valor finds the man's axe, and he is worried.
And a bone.
Sure. Grim pulls out her muzzle hound and attaches it to her gun and sniffs the blood. It can analyze blood and tell him what's going on.
Sure.
You know, hunter's tools, a suitcase that doesn't end, weird magic stuff, you know, doing all kinds of things. It turns out,
I prefer it to have like a smell system.
like, she can smell it.
Sense system.
But that's what I'm saying. It's more about gadgets.
I know. So we can get into the, sensory power levels.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Watch Valu get like werewolf powers and he has to master them.
Sure.
Or some bullshit, you know?
He gets bit.
He's half werewolf, half vampire or some shit.
Okay.
There's room to grow.
Sure.
He's got the legendary axe, Eric.
Yeah. He does.
Alright. So they walk into the hut. It turns out the granny is the werewolf, and they are suddenly attacked. Grim saves him and transforms into her adult form. It turns out Granny was a werewolf. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Her adult form, which she stays in the entire time and doesn't even go back out.
All my situation, very similar.
Is she conserving her energy?
Probably just the cover, Much like Little Red Riding Hood, Christian.
Sure, I get the parallel, but she turns up to the village and they don't trust her. Why would she do that?
Maybe the werewolf's having a look, Christian, because the werewolf does underestimate her. This is a child.
Sure, but when she returns to the village, why is she a child in the village?
That's what I just said. So the werewolf underestimates.
The werewolf inside the village underestimates the hunter. But was that calculated? Was that calculated from the start?
Well, if Grimm's a big brain player,
apparently is that the big brain play from the start?
Sure.
Maybe. All right. So we get to see this werewolf. What do you think about this creature design?
It's too loose to see the form properly. Is that intentional? Perhaps.
I think it is intentional.
It kind of falls apart in chapter 2 a little bit.
I think it. Yeah, a little bit.
Starts to become unclear on what the expressions are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And what the action is. But
we're not here to talk about chapter 2, Eric.
Sure, I'm saying it kind of falls apart a little bit here.
Well, if you look at the speech bubbles,
they're
fuzzy.
Yeah, it's
they're
supposed
weird.
to be loose. The form factor's loose on purpose, obviously, but meh.
It reminds me of what if, the creature from the 1980 movie.
Yeah.
Was covered in fur. It's weird limbs.
Sure, it's like an alien just with fur.
Yeah, it's like a furry, demon, very Japanese.
Yeah.
Very Japanese horror type creature.
Sure.
Werewolf, they take different. All the werewolves are different. I think it's different. You don't see it. It's
we see a couple of stooges later. In chapter 2.
Sure, chapter 2 has some stooges.
Yeah.
But that's chapter 2. So the werewolves, at least they're all different. They're all got their thing. It's unique. So that's a plus, You got unique creature designs. You need good creature designs if you're doing a hunter show.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got creature designs. Grim. What does Grim do? She inhales a pipe, Eric, and blows it into the werewolf, stunning the creature. Another hunter's tool, Eric.
Yes.
So this Batman utility belt could this be an issue where she pulls out the super serum? I go super
answer all the problems.
Yeah.
Perhaps, but no need to yet.
Yeah.
Let's establish how many tools she has and what she has.
I think the endless nature of the bag is so we can just constantly pull out new tools.
Sure, but
and that's the fun of the fights, pulling out new tools, new ways to defeat these creatures.
Let's not make it the answer to every problem.
Yeah, it isn't.
Not yet.
It isn't in the first chapter at least.
Potential issues.
Yeah. Grim grabs Velu and runs. The werewolf is bigger and more ferocious than she anticipated. She wants to go grab some help from the village and do that. The werewolf comes after them And the werewolf grabs Grim and eats her. Valor, upset. He wants to protect the village very, very badly.
Yes.
So he gets eaten. He's about to get eaten. He sticks the gun in its mouth, like prying it open, shoots the creature in the mouth, then comes down with the axe, cutting open the stomach, and pulls Grim out, who is shocked at Valor at what he was able to do, Eric. She measures the axe. Nani, what is this axe?
Mm-hmm.
It could it be? Obviously some sort of hunter's tool.
Yes.
Some sort of legendary axe that only the worthy can wield.
Sure.
You know,
The pure of heart.
the pure of heart. Maybe, alright? The ultimate legendary axe, right? Valor will protect the village with all his strength, Eric. That is his goal. He will protect the village. You know, I'm sure we'll find out that he wants to eradicate all werewolves. You know, we'll get a bigger scope for this. But yeah. Grim grabs Valor and hook shots away. Grim left a bomb in the werewolf's gut. Apparently this is her big red play the whole time. Get in on purpose. Not necessarily sure how she gets out of the stomach. She cuts her way out.
A knife, perhaps.
You know.
Maybe the explosion, it doesn't affect her.
She looked kind of knocked out in the stomach a little bit. She comes out the gut.
A little bit of
A little dazed. Confused. Perhaps.
Sure.
But yeah. So, you know, the explosion goes off. You know, the cool guy don't look at the explosion.
Yeah.
We'll get like a Wile E. Coyote reaction from the werewolf.
Yes.
They're like, oh no, look at this bomb in me. It blows up. And we have succeeded, Eric. Valor makes a shrine for the man and tells him that the village is safe. He places the shrine on top of a hill
So we can see the village.
so we can see the village. Grim tells Valor that the Hunters Guild was established to defeat dragons. Their goal is to eliminate all werewolves, creatures, vampires. You know, all monsters of evil against humanity. Grim asks Valor if he wants to be a hunter. Then it ends. So we have a little quest on our hand there. What do you think about this first chapter? What do you think about this?
We have a lot of fake depth to see if it pans out.
I don't know. See, it would be fake depth in my mind if they're like, this is the werewolf king, this is the vampire queen, and we have to go take them out. I wouldn't call this fake depth. Saying
What about the legendary Red Hood cushion?
that's just. I wouldn't say that's fake depth. I would say because there's no promises. It's very vague. Eric.
Sure, fine. There's a lot of nonsense, and you know.
I would say a little world.
Listen,
Yeah, that's what I would say.
this is the classic formula.
But with a little deviation.
There will be a new crew member shortly.
Sure. What do you expect?
We need.
We got the headstrong young boy, the cool.
Innocent young boy.
Sure, innocent young boy. We got the cool IQ master. You know, waifu. What are we missing?
You know what the answer
The
is.
meathead.
Or the Edge Man. Could be both.
Meathead or edge man. But it's Grim, not the edge man. Kinda edgy.
Yeah,
Talking about the nature of human beings.
sure.
You know.
Now, obviously, Valor will teach Grim the nature of humanity. And Grim will teach Valor.
I mean, yeah,
the
she's
nature
kind of, you know, jaded a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. But maybe not another crew member, because you were talking about it earlier, the formula of the master and the apprentice. The wolf and cub,
Perhaps.
as they call it.
We'll have to see where this goes. We need a quest.
Obviously, the first quest is the training of the guild,
Sure.
and then some sort of hunter's exam. You know what's coming, Eric.
to get him into the
The
guild.
hunter guild exam.
Sure.
Will we have new apprentices, some rivals in the guild? You know, you can expect it.
Do they go on missions?
Well, they get paid. They're mercenaries.
I get a feeling that do I want to see a journey of these two chilling, exploring? Do I really want to see another, you know, Hunters Guild? These are the apprentices. Now you're in Team 7. Grim's your master. I don't want to see that again.
I think we'll eventually get to that.
I want to see a journey,
Yeah.
a quest.
Well, the quest back to the Hunters Guild will be an arc, surely. There'll be
I
a training
need
arc.
more hype. This is the problem with this first chapter. Grimm kind of doesn't look like she's got it all together.
She's
It's
an
a
established hunter, but she's not the strongest hunter.
It's a bit of a mixed message coming from Grimm.
Why?
Because the plan was a bomb, but she kind of looks like
She was
she's
like
not
confused,
really
yeah.
in control when coming out of the stomach.
Well, she kind of didn't really give up much of a struggle when she was grabbed.
Yeah, it was like, all right,
Yeah,
this is clearly the plan.
yeah,
Told Valug to get out of the way.
yeah.
Now, if Valug got out of the way, he tried his best, and then the stomach just exploded, and she was standing in the aftermath of the explosion.
Yeah.
Then the hype would be there.
How did she survive the explosion?
Sure. Because she's tough, Christian.
I don't know if that's this show exactly, but you know.
There's magic physical properties already.
Sure. Anyway, we have ignored the elephant in the room, Eric.
What?
The size of these breasts.
They're silly. Will there be?
Is it a gag?
Is it a gag? Is it a meme?
Is it a gag? Because
Is it a hunter's tool?
they're literally the size of her entire chest.
They're silly.
You see the side view, and it's the size of her entire chest.
Very large.
Is this a meme? Is this like an Austin Powers bit? Where like
There's mini
they're
guns in it.
actually machine guns,
Right. Perhaps.
because if this was the main point of this character, Eric, surely you wouldn't.
They would be bare.
They'd be out there, but they're
Concealed.
hidden. They're concealed by the t-shirt, by the droopage, Eric. Not even a tight shirt,
Right.
right? A loose shirt.
Loose garb.
So I'm not convinced. I'm convinced there's something there. I'm convinced he puts this in here.
Secret technique.
Sure. He puts this in there, maybe for a little titillation, Eric. Maybe for a little excitement on that end. But maybe for a little bit of subversion of expectations.
Right.
So there's no cleavage.
I feel like
there's no
all
nothing.
the effort was put into Grimm's design and none into Valu's.
He's got that village attire. He'll get his hunter's garb.
Sure,
You know what I'm
he'll
saying?
He'll get his outfit.
He'll get his hype outfit.
Can he get new hair?
I mean, the braids a little. I think it works in black and white. You know, the braids a little.
Do you think this has legs? We need to set up the major
It's
quest
an evergreen. It's an evergreen concept. You can hunt
infinite monsters. Hunt.
infinite monsters to hunt. You got the guild,
A lot
you
of
got the world.
a lot of tactics going on, perhaps.
You could have a country filled with creatures and bullshit.
Some kind of soft magic system, perhaps, going on.
Sure. You do all kinds of nonsense. Alright? It's got evergreen potential.
They go to the east, Christian. They fight a dragon. Who knows?
Sure. Go to Japan. Go to the Middle East. You know, fight some jinn. Fight some, crazy shit.
Mummies.
Sure. Erica's bringing up mummies. It wasn't still mummies.
Alright.
So, lots of potential here. Pretty great first chapter. Nothing really complaining about.
Do we anticipate the sad Grimm story? Sad backflash of Grimm.
Obvious orphan, parents, abandonment.
Hunters fucked her over or something. All about money. Need money. Can't trust humans, perhaps.
I don't really get that from her in the first chapter. She's just like...
Well, she's professional. She's a businesswoman.
Sure, I don't, like, she teaches Grimm about the nature of the world. She's not really like, fuck you, Grimm, fuck you, Valor, you fucking little bitch. She's not really like that. And then she offers him a position at the end of the chapter.
Is he special?
I feel like she sees some potential in this child.
The axe?
Obviously, I think her main goal is to eliminate all monsters. Gotta relate to her backstory. And she has to get the money to fund the guild. The guild is the main goal. As long as the guild continues, monsters will be slain.
What we need in the next by chapter 5, we need the mission and the twist.
So you want him to get to the Hunters Guild?
Well, we need the mission. I didn't say Hunters Guild. We need a mission and a twist.
We have a mission.
What's the mission?
Join the Hunters Guild. We need a Naruto Zabuza type
There
mission.
needs to be some kind of mission going on.
We need to defeat the warlord werewolf king. Go out on a mission to hunt this legendary creature. Perhaps.
Sure.
Alright, enough goons. Let's get the big daddy. and save the village. Alright, because like spoilers for chapter 2, Valu doesn't want to join because he has to protect the village and make it safe.
Right, but joins anyway.
No, so Grimm goes, okay, we'll make sure we'll get all the werewolves out of this zone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first arc. Getting the werewolves out of the zone. There's got to be some sort of werewolf warlord.
I want a beast man. I want him wearing a coat,
Yeah,
not with the sleeves on.
sure.
We'll
get on. I think this gives me hope. Shows me its potential.
We need like a It can't be straightforward. We need like a twist involved, Christian. I need some kind of lore twist.
That's for later on. I don't think that's for chapter 3. I think that's for
I
later on.
said chapter 10 maybe with some kind of twist on the thing, because we can hunt these werewolves. We can do some cool attacks.
I mean, they're
stuff.
sentient creatures, so they're gonna have some plans, some schemes of their own.
Sure.
Maybe they're subservient to some fucking warlord, werewolf creature. There's things there.
How quickly do we drop the the guild is darker than you think, or the guild isn't what you think it is, or...
That's like the 5th arc or something.
Okay. If we get there. The waifu helps. I told you.
Now, comment. Tell me what you think about this battle system. Obviously, focused on traps.
No real system to speak of, except for my
Hunter's tools.
Various traps and tools and strategies.
So I think it's going to be more about strategies, big brain plays, traps, hunter's tools.
Knowledge.
I assume the hunter's tools work off some sort of vitality system. Some life power bullshit.
The system's not really hard set at the moment.
It's pretty loose.
Which is fine. It's chapter 1.
There.
Where do I see? There's a cap, right? Because we're talking about dragons.
Yeah.
Show me.
I mean, is there? You could have like a dragon that's like a continent-sized dragon.
Sure, and I'm assuming all these monsters are sentient and intelligent.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you think we see? Because they promise witches, which implies magic.
I'm already assuming there's magic. You see all those runic
Shooting
stuff.
fireballs.
That where no one knows how the werewolves start.
Yeah,
Is there a
so
witch we need to take out?
I assume we'll be throwing fireballs.
I'm looking at
pretty
Valua
soon.
and thinking he's gonna be a mage.
Throwing fireballs.
Yeah.
But he's got the axe.
He's got the axe.
He's obviously modelled off the hunter from Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, but he's telling me he's more of a mage. The way he's designed at the moment.
It's because of the village garb. When he gets on hunter hype, you'll see. Alright. Ratings, Eric.
He just takes his shirt off and he's yacked. Right, I give this a 7. It's good. It's fine.
I think this is the best first chapter on the show.
Better than for what the fuck is it called?
What?
For Neverland? What is it?
Promised Neverland.
Promised Neverland. That was the 9, Christian. That was high level stuff.
That was high level.
This is not quite.
Maybe this is an A.
This is not quite Promised Neverland.
I forgot about Promised Neverland. I'm gonna say this is an A. I think it's better than Hunter x Hunter. First chapter. This is all first chapters. I think it's better paced than the Berserk first chapter.
It's good to see someone take on the wolf and the cub trope instead of nonsense.
It's a PG seinen. Because you would see this concept in a seinen.
Yeah.
Dark fantasy, wolf and cub.
People who don't know what wolf and cub is, it's basically a samurai carrying around a child.
Yeah, and they teach you about life.
Yeah, and the child teaches the samurai about
humanity. Classic.
And they go on journeys. And,
is that what Vinland Saga? Is that what Vagabond is?
I don't know.
I think so. Anyway,
it's good to see we're not in the high school.
It's a PG seinen, basically. So if you enjoy that, you'll enjoy this.
How much time are you gonna give this, Christian?
I read the second chapter. It was interesting. Action heavy.
Not really satisfied with the conclusion of how they win.
Did Value, he pulled out the shotgun. Did he pull the trigger?
We'll
I
find
didn't
out.
see he pull the trigger.
We'll find out next week.
'Cause he
We'll,
played
we'll
that
find out
shotgun.
tonight, Christian. We'll find out tonight.
That's shotgun.
Chapter 3's out.
That's shotgun, Eric.
Yeah, big boy.
It's a big fat daddy shotgun.
I like the shotgun.
All right.
You know,
what if he carries around a shotgun and an axe?
Is it a rifle or is it a shotgun?
It's a double barrel shotgun.
Right.
He has a double barrel shotgun.
I like
this guy's head. So
I like it.
this man's got the super shotgun, ready to blow some heads off. So there's some edge. There's some.
Are we gonna be still? We're gonna talk about ammo. Is there gonna be some?
Who knows?
Sure.
But yeah, Red Hood.
I'll
Pretty
give it a 7.
I'm giving it an 8. I think it's better than Berserk first chapter. I think it's better than Hunter x Hunter. Definitely better than Hunter x Hunter's first chapter. It's just better. It's just well paced, good action, great concept, good amount of lore, not too much.
Yeah, interesting designs.
You got the basis of the character for Valor. You know, you can understand his situation.
Let's just hope it doesn't fall into traps of, endless monsters of the week and no meat on the bones.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, moving on to How Strong is Shanks series. How strong is Shanks? Every week, we come to you with the question of how strong is Shanks, Eric?
Yeah. That's right.
And every week we answer, Shanks is the strongest, Shanks is the God King. Now, Eric, there are people out there that think Dragon's the strongest. They think Blackbeard's the strongest. There are people out there that think Sweatiest Man on the planet, Akainu's the strongest.
Okay, no.
We'll talk about Akainu later, Eric.
Okay.
In the Thunderdome.
Oh.
There are people out there that think Dragon's the strongest. There are even people out there, Eric, that think Mihawk's the strongest.
Gets weaker by every week.
And there are even people out there that think Army's the strongest. Alright? Everyone knows Shanks is the strongest, Shanks the God King. And every week we bring 100% genuine factual information to the table. This week's evidence is Sasuke's so strong that he is the legendary Red Hood, Eric. Redhead Shanks, Red Hood, covered face. I see what's going on here. Little too convenient, if you ask me. Shanks is obviously the Red Hood, the ultimate god. I told you, Eric, last week. He is the foundation of lore in every show.
He definitely is.
Alright? It's only the strongest Shanks is the God King. Moving on to the topic of the show. Original versus established. And we'll get into what that actually means.
Okay.
You see, Eric, in the West, or in every culture, people grow up with certain lore, certain storytelling things. We all know what a werewolf is. We all know what a witch is. We all know about Little Red Riding Hood. We all know about the fairy tales we grew up with. We have that lore. And in Japan, it's Momotaro and that kind of lore, that kind of yokai lore.
Yes.
Every culture grows up with its lore. Alright? And there are series that make up their own lore and series that borrow from culture. Borrow from the established lore.
Yep.
Two approaches to world building. You've got the established lore, where you can do shorthand because you can assume the audience knows what these creatures are.
They know what a vampire is, Christian. They know what a werewolf is.
And with those expectations, you can play with those expectations.
Sure.
This is this is that, this is that.
Much like the designs of the werewolves in Red Hood.
Sure. You can subvert expectations. You can do a little twist on it. You know, how much vampire lore is there? They're different in every story time they're told. You know.
Sure.
And then you've got your original lore. You have to explain everything. Everything must be laid out.
One Piece.
One Piece, original lore.
Yes.
Now there are references
Sure.
to other
And
you know,
we don't
Momotaro.
understand them because we're not.
We're not Japanese. We don't get most of them. There's puns to yokai.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff. So my question to you is, Eric, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the original lore versus the established, the cultural calls? What do you like?
It's an interesting question.
Sure.
I don't mind either, to be honest. It just depends how interesting it's done, you know? Probably go with original, because, the higher potential's involved.
Sure.
But, the trade-off is that you have to explain everything.
Yeah.
But I think original.
You like original?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, Eric. The cultural impact on a writer cannot be ignored.
Of course.
You know, there's only so many ideas out there. Only so many things. Everything's been done. Do you go full in? Do you go... Basically, how much reference do you choose to put in there?
Right.
Do you just go full Norse god mythology, God of War style? You put a twist on a established ancient culture. You know, people who understand that culture get more out of the story than people who don't.
Right.
Right, and that's kind of like the cultural context of a story, what that means, right? Because in the West, right, Red Hood, we would be way more familiar than the Japanese audience about Little Red Riding Hood and all those kinds of stories.
With established stuff already, you can play around with the expectations of archetype.
Sure.
For Loki doesn't what could Loki be in One Piece?
Sure.
People assume he's a mastermind player.
Sure.
But Oda could meme the shit out of him.
Exactly. That's what I mean by references. References to culture and established lore.
Can you really get away with it? Like, is anything 100% pure, though?
No. But you could do, like, some metaphysical fucking goo monster, fucking multi-dimensional being. Some incomprehensible nonsense.
So what's your point, Christian?
My point is, like... I don't know, there's no real point. It's just, like, an interesting little thing I noticed from Red Hood. I'm like, yeah, this story... is borrowing a lot of elements from, the common culture kind of thing. Which is,
Will there be a gingerbread house, Christian?
Will there be a witch who tempts them?
Hansel and Gretel, who knows?
Sure, all those kinds of things you expect. You don't really see that much in Jump, in that Western culture kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, My Hero is that with superheroes, right?
Yeah.
The concept, is the superheroes... is superhero lore the culture in the West now? You see, like, shows like Invincible. Is that the show?
Yeah.
Doing its own take on the superheroes, twists. So, like, it's just, like, interesting to see culture find its way into stories and the expectations and play off culture. So it's either you have to have a cultural concept of the concept itself, or you have something completely original where there's no barriers to entry. It's completely... Everyone starts off on the same playing field.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So, just an interesting observation, really. Not really a right or wrong answer there.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go. Anyway, moving on.
Thunderdome.
To the Thunderdome, Eric. We have a spicy battle for you, Eric.
Is it hot?
It's hot. It's spicy. Fujitora versus Akainu. Akainu.
Ooh.
Sakazuki, Eric.
Interesting.
Swordsman versus Magma-kun. What are your first thoughts?
Gravity.
Gravity, Eric.
That's my first thought.
Yeah.
How much of a problem is this going to be for Akainu?
Well, Luffy broke out of it. You know?
I feel like it's been very tough for Akainu to throw any projectiles at Fujitora.
Projectiles are out of the question for Akainu.
Yeah.
Smack him out of the sky, not really an issue for Fujitora. Now, I'm saying we all saw what Akainu can do. He can seep into the ground using his magma. He can escape into the earth, pop out, kind of thing. So, like, is Fujitora really going to get trapped by the gravity? Maybe not.
You can fly.
Sure. A little bit. I don't know how much.
On a rock, Christian.
I was talking about Akainu.
No, I'm talking about Fujitora.
I'm sure Akainu do some kind of jet booster thing.
I mean, he should have Skywalk.
I mean, hypothetically, yeah, but
I haven't seen it, sure.
you know, he doesn't really chase Buggy in the air, so what's the story with that? He just shoots like a lava beam at him.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Is Fujitora's haki strong enough to deal with Akainu's Magma Fist?
Gravity, Eric. Does it push it away? You know what I'm saying?
Raging Tiger.
But he's a Logia, Eric. He's a Logia. What does gravity do to a Logia? Didn't do much to Luffy.
Gravity still affects liquid.
Yeah, but it did damage Luffy, Eric. Because he's made of rubber. Akainu is a magma boy. Made of liquid. And could shapeshift himself.
Whitebeard did fold him in half.
Whitebeard did fold him in half, Eric. But that, you can assume we had a little bit of haki on that.
Fujitora's got haki.
The Raging Tiger did not hurt Luffy, Eric.
Was the haki?
Can you imbue the haki in the gravity?
In the gravity beam.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Eric. All kinds of questions. Obviously, Fujitora, master of observation.
Now, Kuzan and Sakazuki-kun, of course, fought for 10 days.
It'd be a long fight.
How do you feel about this matchup for Akainu?
It's not a great matchup for Akainu, I feel like.
Is it better or worse than Kuzan?
Well, Kuzan was like an equal stalemate. So I'll say it's a worse matchup. Because I think it's maybe it's on a Devil Fruit basis. I mean, Fujitora doesn't have the Logia aspect to his Devil Fruit. But he does have AoE, range, repelling, defense, all those kinds of stuff. You know, he's got the sword techniques. He's got the range on, you know, the close quarters range on Akainu. We don't really like... We know he's like a master of observation haki, but does he have future sight? Was he always kind of... You know, he's a gambling man. Or did he always know the outcome? Kind of thing. And he was just betting on Luffy. All kinds of questions there about future sight. But what do you think, Eric? You gotta lean towards Akainu.
You have to go with Akainu just because of rank.
But just because of rank, I get.
It'd be an interesting fight, though.
It'd be an interesting, very interesting fight. I wonder what the Sakazuki.
Hard to know about
stance will say.
Fujitora because his techniques aren't really that fleshed out.
Neither Akainu.
Sure, but we've seen him in
he's got-
action a lot more.
He's got magma fist. You know, shoots magma balls
Sure.
at people. You know,
Hellhound.
sure. He's a dirty fighter. You know, dirty man.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to give this one to Akainu.
Yes.
Just because Fujitora's a fake animal, apparently.
We like Fujitora.
The rank. Lot of damage, Eric. If Akainu gets a hit in, it's a lot of damage. You can't really say the same about Fujitora on Akainu.
Right.
We know it's haki and all that kind of stuff, but we've seen Akainu deal with haki with Marco and Vista. We've seen him do, you know, pre-break and shit. So I think Akainu takes it away.
Okay.
There you go. Moving on to questions. A few questions for the people on this quiet evening. From Dan. First question. Who do you think Marineford would have... How do you think Marineford would have changed if current Luffy went inside pre-time skip Luffy? Instead. If Luffy now went to Marineford, we're talking about win. We're talking about a fat W.
Do we escape?
I think we escape, Eric. Shanks still appears.
Ace would want to fight though.
Ace would want to fight.
But Luffy would help him.
Luffy would help.
And that's a big help.
And Shanks would appear at the same time, but Luffy would be up and about. And then you got Shanks on top of that.
You want to fight me?
So I'm thinking it's a W, Eric. Because Ace doesn't die with Luffy helping him. Because, we all know Luffy died because Alkainu was going to sneak attack Luffy and kill him.
Yes.
Ace jumped in the way. But if Luffy was Luffy now, but the future side would have saw the fist coming, dodge, would have maybe hit him with that Red Roku. Maybe we hit him with that.
And if he was
Conqueror's
able to get
Haki
up there without Gear 4, he'll surely be able to get up there.
with Gear 4.
No, right now.
Yeah. But there you go. So I think we're getting the W, Eric.
Okay. Because we're assuming they fight until Shanks turns up.
Because it's a cascading effect. You have Whitebeard maybe not even fighting Alkainu.
Because Luffy is.
Because Luffy is. And then Whitebeard's loose on the battlefield.
That's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
And with Ace free, nothing to lose.
That's what I'm saying, Eric. So, there you go.
And then Shanks turns up later.
From Archilian. Hydra's guild is good so far. Looking forward to see what's next. He's intrigued. He's excited.
Okay.
Not really a question, but there you go. From Kaz. What was Shanks planning to do with the Gom Gom no Mi if Luffy hadn't have eaten it? Sell it for cash, right? We're talking about how much it's worth. It was treasure. They're all going to eat it. They don't do that. They don't have devil fruits.
Yeah. I don't know.
No. From Sebastian, what do you guys charge to do a character design, Eric? Asking us to do some work for this man.
Or business and DMs, Christian.
All business happens in direct message on Twitter.
Not on camera.
No. The prices vary depending on market demand. Nature of the project, all kinds of things. Right? From Michael J. Do you think that Oda will leave One Piece alone after the main story, or keep adapting things, keep adding things to it, like side stories, more lore?
I mean, he will.
Like
he
that.
might, but Shueisha won't.
It'll be a Kishimoto thing where they ask Oda for some notes.
A Toriyama thing. He designs
Sure.
a character.
He designs a character. He gives them notes about what he's planning, what he wants
But
to do.
Shueisha will never let it go.
No, they'll never let it die. Just like Boruto's still going.
Just like Dragon Ball.
Naruto ended 7 years ago.
Dragon Ball is still going.
It'll never die.
That's correct.
It'll never die.
These are business people.
Sure.
Business.
From Black Bull's captain. With 2021 looking like One Piece is gonna get outsold again for this third year in a row, and by multiple other series, does Oda look at this and decide to stop dragging One Piece? I don't know, man.
Is 1,000 in volume form yet?
No.
Because that'll spike the shit out of the sales.
I don't. He's still selling a ridiculous amount of copies. I think it's good for the industry for other people to
Sell copies.
sell copies, man. It's good for the industry. We can't just have Oda selling all the volumes, because that's what he used to do.
Yeah.
No one was even close to him. Everyone was just buying One Piece volumes. Maybe Shueisha has a way out now. Maybe, it's good for the industry. I know. Times change. People get older. Still selling a lot. It's not failing.
Yeah.
It's not Bleach.
Right.
So, I think it's good. I think it's healthy. It's not a healthy industry. For new people to be on top, I don't necessarily think it has much to do with the quality, really. It's still selling a ridiculous amount of units.
Yeah.
It's just like other things are selling more. That's fine. I mean, good for other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The Man with No Name. Do you think the creator of Red Hood draws influence from Bloodborne and other From Software games? I'm getting the vibes. Well, it's dark fantasy. I would say it's more to do with, the fairy tales grim, kind of dramatic,
Yes.
fairy tale, old school, Western culture shit. Not necessarily Bloodborne. I don't really see. Maybe because of the Hunters Guild, but, you see that in multiple kind of
Sure.
stories. I'm not hooked about that, but, It also makes me think back to the good days of Ruby. I'm praying Red Hood doesn't squander his potential the way that show did. This man's salty about Ruby.
Well,
But I got bad news for you. Ruby was never good.
Ruby never had potential.
I guess Ruby kind of has that little Red Riding Hood character with Ruby herself, kind of.
Yeah, sure.
So apparently Ruby bad now. Can we get a Silver's opinion update if he's around about Ruby these days? Has he given up? Does he care?
Is it over?
Is it over? From music, what is this? This is it's Red Hood. Read it and jump. That's what it is.
Sure.
From Dart, is there a topic that you think needs to be addressed or talked about during the reverie? Not really. Like, the community's in a pretty good place. You don't really... People have kind of moved away from complaining a lot.
Can we talk about, comprehension skills?
I know you just want to call out JD or Stray Rogue.
And responsible theory crafting.
Responsible theory crafting.
It's not even what I mean by responsible. It's like, legitimate theory crafting.
Not just coming out of nowhere with
Not
crazy
building
ideas.
theories on a house of cards.
I mean, the theories at the end of the day doesn't really matter.
Yeah. No. Well, we're in a pretty good place. Hopefully something interesting happens this chapter.
Yeah. We'll see. Also, can we please get chapter 1 of Martial Magic and Muscle? Yeah, but does it have the big titty booba? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does it have...
Sure.
Alright, does it have... Does it have that?
Is it new?
Is it brand spanking new? It's kind of new.
Yeah.
I've heard good things. We'll see. Maybe I'm more interested in Chainsaw Man because the anime is coming out.
Alright.
Next big anime, Eric. Calling it right now.
Huge anime.
Next big huge.
I don't think it's much of a big call. But,
it's got the studio behind it.
I don't know if you're going out on a limb.
I'm going out on a limb, Eric.
What if the first episode's good and then the rest is just trash?
I mean, it's been done before.
Okay.
It's been done before, Eric. For Itachi, Birdcage versus the Busticle. I'm going to have to go with the Birdcage. It's Birdcage, inescapable. An Admiral couldn't defeat it. Zolo couldn't defeat
cannonballs
it.
will just get cut through from
The Busticle is crazy.
The Busticle's a bit of a meme these days.
But
It's not much of a
the
threat.
Birdcage is absolutely insane.
The Busticle's supposed to come with an ammo, right?
Yeah, but Kuzan's just like, nah.
Couldn't be fucked.
Kuzan's just like, Marinefort's about to happen. I got time for this shit.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Maybe someone should have called up Ennis Lobby and be like, do you actually want this Busticle on Ennis Lobby?
I mean, he hit the button on accident.
Alright. I know, but give us a...
Yeah. From Jordan Lee, Eric. Is Oda rushing all the good parts we want to see and spending too much time on useless photo scenes? Yeah, well, you know how Oda is.
We just got a Jinbei fight last week.
Yeah, but, half that chapter was the goons.
4 chapters, sure. 4 pages, yeah, but yeah, I get it.
I mean, if...
We don't need CP0 talking about the numbers.
It's over for now. There's no updates for it. What's left?
Okay.
Do we have to talk about goons fighting? No. So there you go. From Hibihime, why was the last episode of the anime bad? It was not bad.
Correct.
Don't understand that question. And that is the last question. Thanks to people for tuning in on this.
Chapter One Piece next week. What will happen? Who will we go to? Will we see Robin?
I want to see Robin. I want to see Yamato. I want to see Sanji.
I want to see Shanks.
Always.
Yeah.
That's a given. All right. That's a given.
Come on, Huso. Give us a Shanks flashback. Show us Lucky Root capping in your face.
It's crazy. All right. That's the episode. That's the show. Shanks is the God King.
Good night.
Good night.